Hi, everyone. I'm your host, Patty Giarusso, and this is Let's Talk Pets on Society Bites Radio. Today, we welcome back Kathy Pobloskie from Lost Dogs of America and Lost Dogs of Wisconsin. And today, we're going to talk about something a little different that is near and dear to our hearts, and that is our nonprofit organizations. I run a nonprofit organization called Let's Talk Pets. No, that's my radio show. It's called Lost Pet Services Incorporated, and Kathy's Lost Dogs of America. We're nonprofit organizations, and our purpose is to help the community understand the importance of lost pet recovery, lost dog awareness, what to do if your pet is lost, not to mention the other services that we provide. And the reason we're talking about this is because I'm really excited that my nonprofit organization will be participating in the 2020 Giving Challenge at the end of April. And so we wanted to talk about, if your community has a challenge, a giving challenge, or a giving day, why it is important to support organizations like ours. So welcome to the show, Kathy.
Hi, Patty. Great topic. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so we both work 100% volunteer. Let's get that straight. For nonprofit organizations, and we put our heart and soul into them. And Lost Dogs of America is a huge organization across the whole United States with, I don't know, how many lost dog groups or do you have?
I think there's 35.
Wow. Yeah. And you've reunited like hundreds of thousands of lost pets. Yeah. Not to mention the other things that you do that you can talk about.
Right. Yeah. So, and I'll just clarify. So, Lost Dogs of America we're all volunteer based, but we are not a 501c3. We do not take donations, and we do not do any fundraising. The individual states do.
Okay,
so
that's
that
right.
makes sense.
So
Lost Dogs of Wisconsin, Lost Dogs Illinois, Lost Dogs of Texas, Lost Dogs of Florida, Lost Dogs Arizona. That's how we do that, because we don't want to take away from the good works that the individual states are doing. And we find that most people are more willing to donate locally anyway to help in their own states.
Right.
So that's the way we've kind of worked that. Yeah, but it's a big job. And I guess I don't know if you find this, but we find one of the frustrating things is that people are quite willing, or so it appears, to give to organizations that are physically caring for dogs, or cats, right? The shelters, the rescues, that, and great on that. I don't want to take away from them doing that. But we don't physically have animals in our possession. So I think we're kind of, I guess it sometimes appears like we're not doing anything. It's maybe not as emotionally gratifying to give to an organization that is not, physically caring for animals. That makes sense.
Yeah, I understand.
But we do think that we do really good work.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I think was one of our challenges when we first started doing this for our first giving challenge, which was 2 years ago, is people didn't really, I don't want to say they didn't get what we did, because we do a lot, just like the Lost Dogs of all the different states do. But at that time, we didn't do as much, as we do now, because now we do medical and free microchips and free ID tags and food and, crates and any supplies that somebody might need, and medical fostering and boarding. And so it's really grown into something different in our particular organization's case. But it is when people think about what you just said, but what the Lost Dogs of the different state organizations do, and what our organization does, is we reunite pets. We help people keep them safe, and in the process, it means less animals are going to our shelters. And so that helps the community as a whole, the taxpayers, the county resources are spent for the dogs that really need to be in the shelters, not the ones that already have a home and don't need to be there.
Right, absolutely. So that's our goal, is to try to keep them out of the shelter. By doing that, by providing the free microchips and helping pay reclaim fees and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, and some of our organizations handle things a little bit differently. Some provide free collars, some free leashes, all that sort of stuff. So as we grow, we're trying to add more and more. But of course, we need the community support to be able to do that. So we really appreciate it when people really do see the value in what we do,
Yeah.
which is trying to keep the pets in a home.
Yeah. And I think as we talk about this every month, that more people are saying, "Oh, there's so many more lost pets," but no, it's the awareness is brought to them now where you didn't. I
Right.
mean, cripe. I started doing this in 2013, and at that time, it was like Craigslist or maybe an ad in the newspaper. So you weren't as aware of the lost pet situation, and it's really like an epidemic almost. Sometimes we feel that there are so many of them, but now there's such awareness brought to them, and
Mm-hmm.
it's very important to the community and the pet owners and the pets themselves to keep them together. It's a
Right.
really important thing that any of the lost pet organizations do. And as it spreads to what you do and what we do, the check the chip clinics to help the people understand the importance of microchipping, and then you do free or low cost microchipping, and we give free microchips and free ID tags, and all of that just plays such an enormous part in the welfare and well-being of pets in our communities.
Right. Right. It really helps, make the community a nicer place to be, right? That
Yeah.
and if you think back in the 70s when, you know, there was so many. I think the figure is something like 17 million people or pets killed, 17 million pets killed in shelters every year,
Mm.
and now that number is down. If I'm correct, is down around 2 million,
Yeah.
which is still far too many. But then you also figure in that about 60% of animals in shelters are probably lost pets. um, I think we should be pretty proud of what we've done because you're right. The awareness has has risen so much, and so many more people now are paying attention, watching the pages, watching to match lost and found pets, and understanding that pet ends up in a shelter. It's probably somebody's pet,
Yeah.
and let's try to get it back home and keep that family together.
Yeah, definitely. And the things that we do, not only we're all 100% volunteers, and we could be working 15, 16-hour days because the lost pets
Hmm.
don't know when to stop getting lost.
Yes.
And so you could be up getting a phone call at 6 a.m. or a call, I've had them at
Yes.
2 a.m., and
Yes.
everything in between during the day when you're just making the flyers and giving instruction and helping people and answering their calls. And then it comes to the point of, like, you guys help with the reclaim fees, and we do too, that a dog goes into the shelter and um, it could be 150, could be over
Right.
200. If both of your pets got picked up together, it's well over 300. And
Hmm.
sometimes for a family that could mean, can I pay my electric bill? Can I pay for my groceries this week if I need to get my pet back? So they need our help doing that sometimes. And that's one of the things that we do for them. So besides just helping reunite pets, there's multiple other services that, the different organizations provide.
Hmm. And I think like so many Americans live paycheck to paycheck. That's a reality.
Mm-hmm.
And uh, if they don't, if it's nearing the end of the month and they're not going to get paid till Friday, but their dog or cat ends up in a shelter on a Monday,
Mm.
we would just rather see that pet get back home sooner rather than later because
Yep.
we know from experience that if they have to wait until Friday to get their pet for their paycheck to come so that they get their pet out, then it's much more likely that that pet then is going to contract some kind of upper respiratory infection from being in the shelter. So
Yep.
now they're going to have a vet bill on top of that.
Yep.
So not only do they have a couple $100 in reclaim fees, they're probably going to have a $200 or $300 vet bill. And why do that? Why not? Let's just try to get the pet back home as quickly as possible. That just
Right.
makes
Right.
sense to us. Because if they can't afford it, then they're going to surrender it, and then it becomes everybody's problem. It becomes a taxpayer problem.
Right. And
Um,
I wonder about that, because if we don't hear about it, and the ones we hear about are too often, that there has to be others, and so we want
yes,
to make sure people know that we're here to help with that. And
yes,
because we don't want your pet in a shelter, we want to help it get home
yeah,
to you. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. And some of the other things, like I don't know. I know Florida, your Lost Pets of or Lost Dogs of Florida just got their 501(c)(3) pretty
Yes.
recently. I
Hmm.
remember Debbie
Yep.
posting that. That was great. And so
Yep.
that it just makes it so that we can just continue to do more for our communities. Yeah.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, it's like you said, it's a labor of love, and our volunteers just work tirelessly. They just amaze me. They
Yeah.
get up early before they go to work to get on and be checking in on things, and like you said, in the middle of the night sometimes. And
Hmm.
I know several of them. They'll get up in the middle of the night to get a glass of water, and they'll just have to walk by the computer and just look, and just
Yeah.
see if there's a question that needs to be answered, or
Yeah.
uh, or somebody that's reaching out for help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's true
Mhm.
because it becomes such a
Yeah.
passion,
Mhm.
that you just can't stop. I have so many people saying, "Oh, you got to step back. You got to step back." Well, you just can't, because
Right.
somebody has to do it. And I have a great
Right.
team, but you know, you can't always rely on everybody else because they're probably sleeping.
Right.
I'm just-
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Uh, but
Uh-huh.
yeah, I've had people say, "Oh, I saw you were up working at 4 a.m." Well, if I wake up in the middle of the night and I can't sleep, what else am I gonna do?
Right. Exactly.
Oh
Exactly.
gosh. But some other things, and I'm gonna be a little selfish and grab some time here, but because our 2020 Giving Challenge is coming up April 28th and 29th here in Sarasota, Manatee, DeSoto County, and Charlotte County, under the 2020 Giving Challenge here is presented by the Community Foundation of Sarasota County with giving strengthened by the Patterson Foundation. And the Patterson Foundation is doing what they did 2 years ago, and they are matching every single gift up to
Wow.
$100. They're matching it 100%. So it's a
Wow.
such an important, yeah, it's an important fundraiser for us, and it's our
Mhm.
biggest fundraiser, and we hope that we'll, get a lot of support this year from it. And we thank the Community Foundation of Sarasota County and the Patterson Foundation for supporting all of these nonprofits in our area, because it means so much to us. I mean, the money that we raised the first time, we've been able to use it over the last year. And most of the money that they, um, you know, we were able to get in the foundation doubled for us. We used for medical care of injured pets that were lost,
Mhm. Yep.
strays that were injured, hit by
Yep.
cars, or owned
Yeah.
pets. We had many cases of owned pets that were hit by cars, and the owner would have had to surrender the pet in order for it to get medical care if
Right.
we weren't able to step in and help. So we are
Wow.
very thankful for that. And that is one of our goals for this giving challenge, is to replenish our medical fund so that we can do it again this year. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that is great. That is such good work. Because I hear you. I mean, there's that happens so often where a dog gets hit by a car, and then the people can't afford the cost to get uh, vet bills are expensive, and they just can't afford it, and
Mhm.
it has to be surrendered or unfortunately
Yeah.
put down.
I know.
Wow.
It is so sad too, and the first time it happened that I was aware of here, it was before we had this as a 501(c)(3). It was just, I had the group running, reuniting the